So, have you ever wondered why we sometimes don't get answers to our prayers? Or how sometimes prayer just seems like a boring chore? Well, that's because prayer is not just a routine or string of words, it is a heartfelt conversation with God. True prayer flows from sincerity, humility, and faith, not from mere repetition or public display. Every Christian, at one point or the other, might have struggled with praying consistently. This could be because prayer has become less of a simple, genuine, and heartfelt conversation with our Father, and more of a tedious, routine chore. We've been taught to pray the conventional way, where we have to pray for long periods, kneeling, and doing what more seems like an overly rehearsed line. This is not to refute the effectiveness of the conventional way of prayer, but prayer is an essential aspect of every believer's journey. But maybe exploring routes that differ the usual mode of prayer could be a game changer in praying more effective and consistent prayers. It's the raw, unfiltered, vulnerable, and broken prayers that produce fruits most often. It's not debatable the glorious, mighty, powerful, and overwhelming nature of God, but He's also our Father, who is loving, tender, gentle, patient, and kind. We first knew Him as a Father before we could even come up with any ponderous title for Him. And as a Father, He genuinely cares about how we feel. He wants to hear us tell Him about a bad day, or a happy one maybe. How we loved something we ate, how someone treated us badly, or even how hurt we are by some of our declined prayer requests. How frustrating it is to wait for His time when the whole world seems to be ahead of us. Yes, He's loving that much. For He understands every single emotion we go through, every single one. In Matthew chapter 6, the verses 5 to 13, Jesus teaches us the true way to pray. He teaches us to pray devoid of hypocrisy, devoid of big words to impress people, and devoid of mindless repetition. We see in 1 Samuel chapter 1 verse 10 to 11 how Hannah wept bitterly for a child from God. She wasn't ready to sugarcoat her words. She wasn't looking at who was around her. She just went to that altar as vulnerable as she could ever get. And not only did God answer her prayers by giving her a child who was considered one of the greatest prophets in the Bible, but she also went on to have 5 other children. In 2 Kings chapter 20, verse 2 to 3, we see how Hezekiah's genuine prayer for long life was also answered with 15 more years. And in Luke 22, verse 41, we see how Jesus Christ, the Messiah, went in all human vulnerability and prayed to the Father. So the next time you feel too familiar with prayer routines and start struggling with consistency, remember, God doesn't want a well-rehearsed, perfectly practiced charade. He wants to converse with you like a father would their little one. No topic is off limit. Just talk to your Father.